Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mack and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
Welcome back to the Hooch, everybody. Got Coy Mack here and Michael Harris. He is comfortable in his kitchen as always. I'm sitting here in my make-believe studio. I guess it's really just my living room and a green screen behind me. So this is just cool, but I like it. So Michael, what have you been up to since we last shot?
Oh man,
episode last week.
Work and everything. So I did this really emotional video. So I woke up, was it Thursday morning, and I was all up in my feels, man, and I am kind of an emotional person when it comes to like love and respect and everything, even though I don't like showing it all the time. I don't like showing my emotions or putting my heart on the fucking table. But I woke up one morning and the first thing I did, I picked up my phone. I just saw so much hate, so I called my buddy Matt. And I was like, hey, dude, I want to use your new song, Love on Somebody, and I'm trying to create this video.
It's a good song, by the way.
It was just little clips of cops interacting and loving and people praying. And, so we're going to post it here. So hopefully you guys, we posted it here. So hopefully you guys like it and share it. But, America just needs to love, man. And I posted it on social media not too long ago when I talked about I'm not going to post any more political, hate shit or different side stuff on my personal page anymore. So
I tried that for a day and I couldn't do it. I never posted anything on my personal page.
Yeah, I mean, try it out, man. So what I'm doing now, my big thing is I try to hide anything that's negative on my page. Now, when it comes to the Grizzle Grunt and the Hooch, those aren't personal pages. Those are public pages. So, of course, I will always promote the Hooch and I'll always promote Grizzle Grunt because I am a political guy. But what I'm trying to steer away from is I'm trying to steer away from my personal page. Just love and just trying to make people laugh and all this other stuff. So, hopefully you guys liked the video, though. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you liked it, share it,
You definitely should. I got in my kid in the background. He's being very vocal today. Yay. This
love on somebody.
So, I get that. Like, there's just tons of stuff going on right now, especially with the protests. And I know we mentioned the death itself last week, and then there's just god-awful amount of things to go through today about all of that. The first one being to bring up is the obvious one for me, which was I gotta bring up this screen. Why is my stuff not working the way I want it to? There we go.
Oh.
No, that's the wrong thing.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, so like the cops pushing down that older dude in Buffalo. That was kind of
It was cringy.
It was very cringy. Like I was going to show you because like there's one thing that I saw recently on Facebook that kind of made me go, wait, what? It was in his left hand. He was holding a helmet, and I'm not sure if it's a motorcycle helmet, scooter helmet, or it was a police riot helmet. That was the thing that really got me. And so I was bringing it up here and you can see it right there. He's trying to hand. I don't know if he's trying to hand it to them because it looks like that. Because when you watch the video, I'll bring it up. He's trying to have the officer like hold it, and then this asshole just comes up out of nowhere and just like makes this guy reactionary and just like pushes him out of the way.
So so go back, rewind it a little bit to the point to where he pushed him, right to the point. Go back to the point where he kind of pushed him a little bit. All right, so right here. So now look at his stance. So here's one thing I want to say. So this old guy's an activist. So
you think so?
Yeah, he's an activist. It's proven. It's known. So if you go back,
it's known
into
or
the
it's
video,
proven. Like, what makes you think that
known
and say
and proven.
that?
So he is an activist. If you look the guy up, he is a political activist. So go and then you can kind of see the guy's stance. So he doesn't really come forward when he pushes them. It's just a one-arm push. I don't know if the guy on the left is pushing him also. The cop on the left.
Well, here we can watch it from
All right,
kind
let's
of
watch it. So
again.
watch
So
it.
here he comes up right here.
Let's kind of like go there, kind of clip, slow, look. So go back.
Okay.
Go back, wind it, and you'll see the push. Like, look at the guy on the right. Now,
Yeah.
come on. If you look at the push, that push wasn't like a hard push. It was just this arm. Look at it again. Go back.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a combination of both of those, and I don't think he was expecting it. Like that was my
but
thing.
the guy's an activist, so like the bleeding from the head.
You get this guy, and this is where I think the main push comes from.
But he was, look how close he was to the cop. Also, though, there is a distance that you should keep.
I get that, but like the guy wasn't a threat. Like he was.
Yeah, he's an old man.
He's an old dude. Like even then, they could have pushed him.
Yeah,
they could have grabbed him
kind of just
moved
pulled him to
him.
Yeah, you could have moved him to the side, but that video, like if you actually watch it, I don't think he put all his body weight into that push to crack his skull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't. It wasn't intentional. I get that, but the problem is the force of the fall of not being able to catch himself going backwards.
Well,
that's what practice.
Well, let's watch the fall. Let's watch the fall. Let's make sure.
So here's the whole thing right there.
All right. So
and the reason I know this is real is watch his hand as it goes. He goes out.
Now
right?
look. So the question you have to ask yourself: how is he bleeding from the ears that quick? Now
from my medical experience, that is completely possible to bleed that quick. And the reason why I say this, and medic people will tell you that, is that it doesn't take much for you to start bleeding from your ears from a head trauma, especially if you fracture the back of your skull and it ruptures the inside of your ear canal and all that stuff right there. It'll start coming out of your ear, and that's how you know you have a brain bleed. And one of the signs what you're looking for is like either white fluid coming out of your head or there's blood, and there's blood coming out of his ear, and that's why you know there is massive trauma there.
All right, do me a favor, go back again.
Yeah,
go back right before the moment he fell.
Okay. Going back.
Like right before that moment.
Yeah, it was like 3 seconds in. So here you go.
All right. So push, boom.
Yeah, that's where the fall is. I mean, it's off camera. You can't see it.
All right. So they're going to zoom down. His feet are still up in the air. Look, feet still up in the air. And he drops them and crosses them. This is why I question it. Because his legs were up in the air, but yet he had enough sense to drop his legs and cross them.
Honestly, like, dude, he was out. Like, you can see it in the video. Like, afterwards, this dude completely goes.
I'm not saying that it's not messed up.
No, yeah.
That they pushed that old man. What I'm saying is I'm questioning his acting. I'm really questioning.
Really? You mean actions or acting? Like, there's a difference between that.
No,
I don't think it's acting. I've seen that where people are saying it's acting, and that or they're saying that was fake blood, and that was like the one thing I was like, dude, that's not fake blood. It looks fake to you because most people aren't accustomed to seeing what real blood looks like. You know what I mean? Like when you see things splurting out of people, it's not like it is in the movies, and everybody expects it to be, oh, it's a lot darker. It's like, no, because it's oxygen rich. It has a. I don't want to get into medical theory here. Anyway, so
I don't know. I mean,
it's weird.
I have a different viewpoint on it. I'm not saying that it wasn't messed up that they pushed this old man, 75-year-old man, to the ground. Right. I'm questioning the authenticity, whatever that word is, of the video. That's what I'm questioning. I don't know if the guy was Was he there? Why did he even do that? Why would this old man, knowing that?
But that's why I brought that up. Is in his left hand he was carrying a helmet that obviously does not belong to him. I think he was trying to return it. Now whether it was, but that's a guess. That's not a real thing. That is a guesstimate. That is a guesstimate. I will say.
Who knows? We'll never. Operation Mockingbird's a motherfucker. So.
Right. And so, like, the biggest thing that's coming out of this, by the way, is the fact that these guys have been charged. So the two officers have been charged with assault over the shoving of the man. He's still in
all right,
critical condition as it sits right now. But
go back to that picture. What was he grabbing for there? In his right hand. What was he reaching? What was he reaching?
That was just a screenshot of him, like, right before why he got pushed, like when he's getting pushed. So that's how it is.
That shit was fucked up. I was kind of mad when I watched that video. I was like, dude's 75 years old, fragile as hell. There's no reason why a 20-something-year-old police officer should be pushing a 75-year-old man to the ground. You could have, like you said earlier, you could at least just like, hey, sir, step over there. Get over there.
They could have. I think they could have handled the situation a lot better. But that's pretty much everything in this whole riot, like all of these riots and stuff in the first place. It's like everything could have been handled a lot better.
Especially with all the rhetoric. Come on, dude. Let's be better. Especially with all the shit going on about police brutality. There should have been no way that guy did that on camera, knowing that someone's filming you. I got it.
You would think, but it happened. The problem is this happened right in front of the news crews, right? Like, so the people that caught that on tape was the news crew that was standing on the steps there, and they caught it the whole thing. It's like, dude, you can't get away from that, man. But I've seen too many videos of both police and the peaceful protesters. I think people are doing this wrong. So there's a difference. Pointed out, there's a difference between rioters and protesters. There's a difference, and the big difference is one of them is causing destruction, mayhem, and damage, and the other one is walking peaceably assembled, protesting the things that are going on. If you're looting and you're breaking into people's homes or their stores or shooting them or burning cop cars, you are not no longer a peaceful protester. You're a how do I put that? It's an either a terrorist, insurrectionist, or a rebel. One of the two. Like one of the three.
Yes.
Sorry, I should say that.
Very true.
Like, once you bridge that line of protesting to combative action, that is something you see in Afghanistan and third world countries, is where they start throwing Molotov cocktails in fucking vehicles. That's not a protest anymore.
Yeah.
that's an uprising. That's an insurrection. That's not a protest anymore.
I agree. 100%.
I mean, Michael, from your standpoint as a black man, what do you think about this? I know you've probably gotten into a lot of heated arguments and debates with people over the last few days or week, pretty much.
Like I said, I try to, especially with my family, I try not to talk about it. And, my stance on it is, like I said before, I believe in their goal. I believe in their mission of, police brutality, and I believe that everything needs to be checked. There's a right and wrong. I'm one of those people, right and wrong. It doesn't matter where I work. It doesn't matter, what side I'm on. There's right and wrong.
There's always right, wrong to everything.
Yeah. Do I believe that they should label every cop as racist or the whole system as a racist system? No, that's not true. I know a lot of police officers out there, man, and these guys are stand-up good dudes who actually care about the community.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that as a movement, they need to try to push more unity instead of talking about, all cops are bastards. What are they?
ACAB, man. All cops are bastards.
ACAB, all cops are bastards. And it's always, I don't think I've seen one Black Lives Matter person come out and say that. It's always been
no. It is white liberals that are hijacking Black Lives Matter protests and causing damage. Like the majority of these like incidents where like violence has been involved, it's always been like white people starting bullshit or painting Black Lives Matters on shit that they shouldn't be painting Black Lives Matters on shit. Like that's
and you're starting to see it through social media. You see a lot of Black Lives Matter people calling these people out. Like, what are you doing?
They had a guy that was starting to break up like the sidewalk to start throwing bricks and shit, and they like grabbed him and threw him to the cops. Like, funniest thing ever is like just grabbing this dude and just like, no man, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you here. It's the same thing with like the right when it comes to fucking like white supremacists and neo-Nazis. We don't want them there any more than you want them. That's right. There. Same thing with these freaking Antifa dudes.
And I'm glad you said that. It's like, you know, you have the Black Lives Matter movement. The more I would consider them a little more moderate than Antifa, way more moderate than Antifa, but it's the same with the moderate people on the right, like you and I. You know, if we see these white supremacists out here claiming to be freaking, you know, Donald Trump supporters and right wing and all this shit. No, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you guys part of our movement. You know,
that's the same thing as them labeling the Boogaloo movement as a white supremacist movement. And it's like, I'm just thinking to myself, I know more than a handful of guys that are much darker than myself that like this shit, love this shit, involved in this shit, and then all of a sudden it's a white supremacist movement. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Dude, come on. That's like the same thing as they did with the Proud Boys, right? Like they were saying, oh, it's a white supremacist. Like, dude, do you know how many like different types of individuals are involved in that? Yeah.
I mean, the Proud Boys, yes, the Proud Boys have a fringe in their movement that can, you know, there's a fringe of every movement, man. Even in Black Lives Matter, there's a fringe of that movement that some hateful motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, did you see that
same
video?
With the Proud Boys and same with every other movement.
Did you see that video of the black dude that ran up to this like white chick and told her to like bend the knee and apologize for your whiteness?
And I would tell my fellow Americans out there, if you're white, whatever, don't ever do that shit.
No.
Don't ever. And me as a black man, I would never ever in my life walk up to a white American or a white person, whatever, and tell them to bow down. Though I think that shit was kind of I think that shit was kind of staged because there's no way. There's no way someone could run up on Coy Mack. There's no way someone can run up on Coy Mack and be like, bow down.
And I was like, not gonna fucking happen, man. Not gonna fucking happen. But it's not any different than the ideology of white supremacists when you act like that, right? So even if it was staged or not, like the fact that it was staged or wasn't staged is irrelevant. It's the fact that the action was taken and this dude asked this white chick to bow down in front of her. It's like that's what white supremacists did in the 60s, man. They made black people bend the fucking knee. You want to have equality. You don't want to have one supremacy replaced with another supremacy, right? Like that's not what you want. That's not the things that you want in your life.
And here's the question we have to ask ourselves: like, what is the difference between black supremacists and white supremacists? You know, they say, well, black people don't have any type of social or, you know, institutional power. But what you're pushing is your race is better or more powerful than another race. Something that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these guys have fought to end that shit. They never wanted us to be the powerful race, the ones in charge. They wanted equality. This is what it's all about, you know. So
yeah, I think it's what people kind of misconstrue is like the idea of what define equality. Equality is when I look at Michael and say, oh well, he's fucking black. Who gives a shit, right? That's true. That's a true equality.
Yeah, right. And you know, as a human race, we should truly want that. Like, yeah, I just hate. And I see it on my Facebook page all the time. You know, like I said, I started deleting that shit. Anything that talks about supremacy, whether you're white, black, Mexican, anything, I delete that shit. I get it off my page because as a human race and as a God-fearing man, God is looking down on us right now. It's like, you motherfuckers, guess what? Yosemite's about to blow. I gave you guys a chance. Yeah. And then there's going to be a comment after that.
Old Testament God, like sitting here, like, dude, like, just could you not be an asshole? Like, stop being an asshole. I'm warning you, don't be an asshole. And then he's like, fuck it, flood.
And half the people here, and here's one thing I will say.
Yeah.
And I will talk about my race, the people that look like me. 90% of those people aren't oppressed. They have not had anything racist happen to them. That's a fact. But they will sit up here and claim, because they want a virtue signal, oh, a racist cop pulled me over. Well, how do you know that cop was racist? Or how do you know this person? Over? It's because he pulled you over. Like, come on, America. Look, as veterans, we are some melting pot people. Like,
yeah, we
don't look at race, and people's like, how can you not look at race? It's a fact.
Because we go through the same things. Like we're all equal underneath the banner of the military. Like nobody gives a shit what color you are. Either do the fucking job or you don't, or you're out. One of the two. Out. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never looked at a white soldier and was like, oh, he's white, or a Mexican, or he's Mexican. I never did that. It was like, we're all equal.
Although we did make a lot of racist jokes, I will say, but it was in good fun. It was all good fun.
That's the hooch. That's what we're here for, you know. And I mean, we said shit in the team room, but it was never from our heart, you know. We would just fuck with each other. Like
it's like that one video of the puppets, right? You've seen that? It's like the white puppet and the Mexican puppet going back and forth about like insults and jokes. Like that's, if you want to get an idea of what the military is like, that there you go. It's like it's just a bunch of people like ragging on each other all day, just to pass the time. I mean, it's not something you say out of hurt or you want to hurt the other person. It's just like, well, we're all bored and we can make fun of you because, like, I'm sorry, like stereotypes exist in the military that are hilarious when you see it, and you have to point them out to people.
Oh yeah, you definitely do, man. It's like freaking fried chicken and shit, you know.
Like that one guy that always, like, you're in the chow hall, or you're going in there, you see that one guy, and he grabs the fried chicken, then and you're like, if he goes and gets the grape drink, I'm gonna laugh. If he goes and gets a grape, he got the fucking grape.
If he puts that little piece of watermelon on his fucking plate, I'm talking shit. Yeah, like, right? Goddamn. Yeah, I like watermelon. Damn.
And the Mexican guy is like
white, you know, same with the white soldiers. You know, this guy's gonna put a piece of bologna on his plate and some apple pie. You know,
he's just gonna eat it bland, right? Like it's the blandest thing you ever get, and then he's like, you want some salt or pepper with that? No.
Can I get the unseasoned chicken, please? You know, like,
just get the plain, like, gross boiled chicken that doesn't have any flavor to it.
No seasoning at all. But yeah, that's what we did. I just don't get the whole supremacy, the supremacy stuff, man. And it's crazy. Like, history is going to always repeat itself. And, you know, one race is trying to be more powerful than the next race, and it's just this.
And this is the big thing that I've always, as kind of like a kind of philosophy person, is like, no civilization in the history of the world has not been oppressed at one point in time. There's always been somebody over top of you oppressing you. Okay, there's always, like, the English were the biggest oppressors for the longest time. You think about what they did to India, what they did in Ireland, what they did in the Americas, what they did in the Caribbean, like everywhere, anywhere you can think about. Africa, big thing in Africa. You think about is these guys, like, the Welsh is no longer spoke, and neither is Gaelic. They completely eliminated that particular portion of white culture. Like, I know people say that as kind of like, they use it as a racist thing, but it's true. The English eliminated an entire culture. They do that all the fucking time. Like, I had a conversation with a friend of mine on Facebook earlier about the whole, like, Filipinos are adopting the Latin X phrasing because it's sexist. It's like, dude, that's a liberal white person thing to say. Like, that's what the English did in order to get rid of things that they didn't agree with, right? Like, you take away somebody's language, you take away their culture, right? And that's what the English did to the Welsh and they did to the Irish as a whole, is they got rid of that language entirely. So it's only one ideology, and that's kind of what the leftists do. Is it has to be their ideology or no ideology, and that's what you're seeing with Spanish, and you're seeing it in other things where they're trying to eliminate the feminine and masculine endings. It's fucking stupid.
And here's the thing, you know, I have to say about when they want to throw out the term about all white people are racist and everything. White people were conquering other white people for fucking centuries. You know, you know, you had the English conquering the Irish in the freaking
and the Greeks and the Romans and
and the Greek. All this shit's been going on for years. You have Africans out there slaughtering other fucking tribes.
You have Africans fighting Africans. You have Indians fighting Indians.
You have people killing people. But it's only bad when someone from another race kills you. Yeah. You know, I'm just like, That makes no fucking sense, though, to me. Like, you should be against all hate, all murder, all colonialism.
And this is something that I've said before, is that white privilege is not a thing, right? It's not white privilege. It's called majority privilege. And you'll find that anywhere in any nation on the planet, where the majority always has certain privileges over everyone else. And then there's also class privilege. There's not white privilege. There's majority privilege and class privilege. Those are the two things you should be fighting against. And those are things we can all agree on. But when you make it about race, you lose just about everyone. And that's the problem.
And class privilege, I would think it's bigger than race privilege.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So, you have people that there's some rich people of color, rich as hell. They will never.
You think Oprah's oppressed? She needs your fucking gender studies, barista degree.
I mean, do you think Beyonce's oppressed? Do you think Jay-Z's oppressed? Do you think Don Lemon's oppressed? They're not fucking oppressed, man. They're rich as hell, and they wouldn't invite you to their fucking table. They wouldn't invite me to the fucking table.
Oh, fuck.
You know what I mean? Wouldn't. So, no, my black guys, they wouldn't invite me to their fucking table.
They're not going to open their doors for all those illegals coming up from the South. They're not going to They're not going to give anybody a free ride. They're going to say they're going to call the cops and go, "Hey, there's a bunch of people inside of my fucking lawn. Could you come get them?"
Here it is. Let a bunch of dudes from fucking, Brooklyn or, the Bronx go on freaking Jay-Z's lawn and protest. He's going to call the cops like a motherfucker. He ain't going to go out there.
Absolutely. He's calling them,
come on in my house. He's going to freaking call the cops. So that's privilege. Jay-Z has privilege. Beyonce has privilege. Oprah has privilege. Dave Chappelle has privilege.
But that's
Mike Epps. All
class
these people,
privilege.
It's class privilege, man. It's all about this. It's all about dollars. So anyone who thinks this farce of you hate your fellow man because the color of their skin is bullshit. Because we see it all the time. You see people of all races that are in the same class hang out with no fucking problems. There's nothing. But until you start dealing with other classes of people,
right?
That's where you see the freaking so-called racism.
And the biggest thing that I always have a problem with is like they always want to focus on white racism, right? As you put it, like white racism. They always want to focus on the white guy. And it's not true. Like I've wrote about this before, is that racism is a human condition. Every nation experiences some sort of racism, whether you're white or you're brown. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, you will always have those individuals that will see themselves superior to others. And the best example is looking at the Chinese. The Han Chinese have a majority privilege, they have a class privilege, and they see themselves superior to everyone else. And if you don't believe me, ask them. They will fucking tell you. They don't like black people. Look at what they did during the coronavirus, right? For that instance, they were rounding up Africans because they blamed them for the second wave, right? They hate Muslims and they put them in re-education camps. But you want to say that the United States is the worst example of human rights violations? Yeah. You're fucking right.
Yeah, they only want to bring up cops. It's like one out of all 50 states. You hear about one incident in one county every few months. You know how many counties are in America? You know how many cops are in America? So you hear about one incident, one guy, and all of a sudden this is mainstream news. It's just like, really? I'm sorry. It's fucked up, like we said before. It's fucked up that it happened.
I will admit this. There are some things to be said about the way that the police are handling themselves in an overly aggressive and militarized fashion. That is something we do need to address. But it's not about race.
Well, let me go back. Let me respond to that. So cops are over militarized because the populace is over militarized. When you got a guy walking around with AK-47s that have up-armored vehicles too in their cars, and they're rich as fuck drug dealers. Yeah. And they're willing to open up on any police officer. You don't think that a cop should be in an up-armored vehicle?
I don't mind the militarization if they're responsible with the militarization, which they're not been responsible, and that's the big thing with me.
Yeah, but
for instance, when you go on a no-knock raid, like this is something that pissed me off earlier this week. When you go onto a no-knock raid, you get the wrong house, you shoot the occupant, they die, you go, whoops, and nothing happens. That's fucked up. Like your basic job as a cop, right, is to figure out where somebody fucking lives. If Johnny fucking McDo can find my place on fucking DoorDash and give me my fucking food, you can find the right place to knock the fucking door in from. Jesus. Sorry. This just really makes me mad. Like, how do you fuck something up that big and shoot somebody?
Personally, I don't agree with no-knock warrants. I think that's very unconstitutional, for one.
Mm-hmm.
For two, here in Texas, I mean, you rarely hear about no knocks because, I mean,
that's a dangerous proposition. I'm sorry.
You come kicking in my fucking door, dude. I'll take.
But there was a recent case where a guy won the court case where the cops actually did get the wrong house, right? And he shot them in self-defense, and he did not get in trouble for it. And I think that needs to be the standard. Like, if you fuck up, right, and you go to the wrong house and you kick it in, and the dude starts firing back at you, well, that's your fault because that was your fucking job. That's not his job to make sure that it was somebody. It wasn't. He doesn't know it was somebody else.
And here's one of the main reasons I don't agree with no-knock warrants, because there's a lot of times that I can move out this house and not update my address.
Yeah.
So it's still showing me living here. Let's say I did something messed up. It's still showing me living
surveillance. All they have to do is set somebody on the house and watch it. Have PID.
But there's someone else living here now.
Yeah.
So now this innocent family's living in the house that I used to own,
and
you come screaming down, kicking in my fucking door, or this door, and it's the wrong person. The person that's occupying the house is like, "What the fuck is going on?" He pulls out
because they don't announce themselves either. Like first
they don't
through the
announce.
door.
Well, good thing I have cameras in front of my house. I have alerts and everything. There's no way you're gonna kick in my fucking door, and me not knowing. But I'm just saying, like, a typical family living here, they bought the house from me, humble family. They're just sitting here, whatever. And boom, you go kicking in this door. He grabs his fucking gun because he's trying to protect his family. He doesn't know what's going on. Anyone can kick in my door and say, police, 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 police. Anyone.
Yeah.
You know how easy it is to just kick in my door and be like, police, 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 police. Put your hands up.
Not only that, it puts the police officers at risk, but it also puts the civilian at risk. And that's the thing that we should be talking about. Stuff like this is like, this is something we can all agree on, but they've made it so much about race that they're not willing. They lost the plot in being able to talk with people on the right about these topics, is because they've made it so much about race instead of about the police doing wrong, like civil rights violations in this manner, right? Like shooting people that they weren't supposed to shoot, like we talked about last week. And actually, like, some people got mad from that segment of the video that I shared on Facebook, where there's like, I don't know where you were from in Afghanistan, but it was like carry about 12 and 956. The whole argument that we just shot whoever the fuck we shot. It's like, yeah, and that's how we had all these atrocities that we usually get called baby killers for. So thanks, you're one of those fucking assholes. But also, asterisk, war. Experiences may vary. Not everything that happened to you in war happened to somebody else. That's all I'm saying. It's been 20 years, dude. Like, what happened in 03 is not the same as what happened in 2014.
You're damn right.
So, like, get off your fucking high horse. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here for right now. We're gonna come back after the break to talk about some more of the writing and stuff like that, and James Mattis and what he talked about. Anyway, we'll be back in a sec, guys. See you on the other side.
Every time I turn around, the world is spinning crazy. Same old news, same old lies are on repeat. Seems like we don't ever get to know our neighbors. The haters grab some hate and they come hating down our street. Bullets fly, people cry. We look for reasons, you and I look to the sky and search for meaning. Will it ever stop somehow? Pray a little hope falls down. We always push through when we need to. That's what we do. Love on somebody. Love on somebody. Throw some gas on hate and then light it. Love on somebody. Let somebody pour some love on you. Love on somebody.
Be sure to check out the Facebook page at the Hooch Podcast to follow along with new releases every week, as well as check out our Teespring store where we have awesome apparel, as well as the Hooch Podcast on Anchor FM. You can check it out here, or you can go on Spotify and iTunes, as well as Google Play. Anyway, we'll be back in a second. Hey, we're back on the other side, guys. I don't know about you, but there are certain sounds in life that I absolutely hate, and one of them is a dog drinking. I don't know why. It's just that sound of like lapping sounds of like la 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 over and over again just bugs the shit out of me. What's the one sound that bugs you, Michael? Like,
I don't know, man. Like, there's not too many sounds out there that bug me.
How about somebody chewing?
Well, yeah, that kind of bugs me when you over chew and you kind of like crunch.
My wife gets onto me all the time for that. So like when I'm eating cereal, I'm like a little like, otter, just like on my tummy.
No, okay, I will say this. What bugs me is when someone eats and they go like this.
Like they're inhaling it.
I can't stand that shit, dude. Like, come on, dude, calm down. It's not that good.
God, it is. Sometimes it is that good. Have you ever gotten like a meal that was so good you're just like fuck and just like inhale it? Like you can't even stop eating. It's just so delicious.
I don't know any too many good meals unless it's my meals. So I don't even know.
I don't know, man. There's just certain things in life that just bug me, and that's one of them. Is just like a dog licking, like the sound of a dog licking itself too. Is the other one, like the ball licking, like the deep ball licking that you get from a dog. Yeah, just like.
No, I don't think so. I like it with my dogs. I don't like it though when they eat each other's vagina. It's kind of disgusting.
It's just like it's the worst one is when you get a fucking bulldog, like the French bulldog with the fucking punched in face, and it's just like trying to, and fucking lick itself. It's fucking nasty. Well,
shit. I am going to eat some leftovers tonight, so I made like some filet mignon and some garlic shrimp the other day with some asparagus.
Yeah, I saw that your surf and turf that you did. That was pretty fucking stellar.
Yeah, it looked good, right? I'm going to eat that tonight.
As you guys know, if you don't know, if you do know, like Michael does a cooking page as well, the Bro Kitchen, and his TikTok is the Bro Kitchen guy, so check that out. Mm-hmm. He'll do that. The reason why I brought up food is because he does a lot of food. He should make lamb. I'm trying to convince him to make lamb. So
if I can find it, someone wants me to make Wagyu. They were
Wagyu
like, it's $100. It's $100.
Yeah, like it's fucking expensive, man. I wouldn't want to.
But I was like, how much for a corner? It was like $44. I'm like, holy shit!
It's like a little nub of meat, like that much, and it's like $40.
It's like $80-something. That is so.
It's like I've met hookers that cost less.
I would have to make that for. So I have a friend visiting. She's a TikTok friend, so she just put in to go to UT.
Oh, nice.
So so her aunt lives in Houston.
I'm an alum there.
Yeah, her aunt lives in Houston, so she's thinking about visiting just to come check out the area. So I think, I'll spoil her a little bit, when she comes to visit, so she'll like Texas. Here's Texas love. Here's some Wagyu beef. So we'll see.
So I think that's definitely one of those ones you do for a special occasion, or if you like fuck up and you had sex with your wife's sister or something.
Good thing
that's why you make Wagyu.
I'm not married.
Really
I'm not married. So,
speaking of fucked up, I don't think it's fucked up, but some other people think it's fucked up, is fucking James Mattis coming out and denouncing President Trump with what he said. This is the kind of the main quoted thing right here is Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. All
right, go back to his picture real quick.
Wait, you want me to? Okay. I
want to see his picture. All right, so zoom all the way into his eye.
I'm not going to zoom in. I don't want to zoom in. That's
you don't see that scar on his eye?
Wait. Okay.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it. I can't really see it.
On his eye, dude, right over his freaking left eye.
Okay. I think I kind of see it, but yeah. You have an explanation for it?
You know what that means, right? That's like some initiation shit.
Oh, okay. So the Illuminati. The Illuminati.
He got paid off, dude. He got paid off.
I think he's a good general.
Okay, listen. I can't take anybody serious that talk like this.
I think if Mattis didn't talk, it would be much better. Because I wish he had as badass as his history is. I wish he sounded more how do I put that? Sylvester
like-
Stallone,
like,
action movie star. He should sound like a deep.
As a general,
voice.
and he's retired. So for his service and so how he was as a commander, respect. As a politician, fuck that guy.
I don't know. He's never once been wanting to be a politician. I mean, it's not like he wanted to be SecDev in the first place. I think he got the job because he was recommended for the job. And he said, "Okay, like maybe I can do some good here."
I don't have to
the only reason he left is because they disagreed on what to do with Syria, the Syria policy. Like that was the thing. He resigned. But Trump's coming out and saying that he fired him, which isn't true. It isn't true. He resigned. We know he resigned because he gave a letter of resignation. That's how I know.
How do you know Trump didn't? How do you know, dude? You know how many times it happens?
This is how I know. Because when Trump fires people, he makes a big fucking deal about it. He doesn't just let them go. He fucking fires them. He does that.
Listen. So where I work, if they give you an option. Like straight up, they're like, if somebody messes up, if you mess up, they'd be like, hey, you can either resign or we're going to fire you. So, of course, he's going to come out and say, oh, I resign. Trump technically fired the guy, but he gave him the option. He was like, you can publicly say you resign. You can say it. Or this is going to happen. So Trump being Trump, he was like, technically I fired the guy, you know what I mean? But I gave him the option to resign, so he resigned publicly. But behind the curtain,
semantically,
I kind of told him to get the fuck out.
I still respect him. Like I think it took a lot of balls to do that.
I'm not saying I don't respect him, dude. I never said I didn't respect.
No. But there are. This is where I was turning the conversation.
I respect what he did for the country, but as a politician, fuck that guy.
So as I was trying to turn the conversation to this was the fact that there are a bunch of bro vets that are now jumping down, ripping up their St. Mattis posters in their bedrooms right now that they used to jerk off to. Like they're just like, fuck that guy, and
the
just
ripping
it up. The bro vets, and I hate. Okay, I don't hate bro vets. I hate them. I just wish that you wouldn't be an asshole. That's it.
So with me and the bro thing, the bro culture, and the vet community, I'm 100% against that shit.
Yeah, I think so. It's just because you're a vet doesn't make you special. It doesn't.
Yeah, we're not special.
It gives us experience.
I can't stand the bro shit, and I blame Art 15 and the drinking bros for that shit, man. That they created this whole bro culture, and General Mattis has put on this
bro culture
because he fucking said, have a plan to kill everyone. Be kind, be nice, but have a plan. I'm paraphrasing. But have a plan to kill everyone. So now all of a sudden he's put on this fucking pedestal. Look, dude.
But that's every celebrity that you've ever loved in your entire life. You put him on a pedestal, and they always disappoint you.
I wasn't in the Marine Corps, so I never put him on a pedestal. Never, not once. But I respected him for what he did for his country and how hardcore he was. But that's about it. That's where it ends. So I mean, people are gonna get mad. I don't really give a fuck.
Like I said, I think the idea of the bro culture, the vet bro culture, I should say, let me correct that, of now taking him down because he disagreed with their sensibilities. Not everybody in the veteran community agrees with you. Not everybody is going to agree 100% with everything that you do or say. We're a diverse group of people. We've discussed this earlier in the show. We're a very large group of people, but we should still love each other regardless because we've been through the same shit. When you tear another veteran down, it doesn't do anybody any fucking good, and it doesn't. Fucking doesn't.
I agree.
We already feel alienated as it is, right? We already feel alone most of the time. For you to tear down another vet makes another statistic because you force them to feel like they are all by themselves, and that's how another 22 a day fucking happens, is because stupid people like that. Sorry, I got a little heated on that one.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and it's okay. Veterans, we're not special. We're no better. We're no different than any other American citizen out there. And sometimes we try to put ourselves on a fucking pedestal. And this is why Michael Harris, has gone away from a lot of veteran shit. As you can tell, I've changed a lot of my tags, my names, and everything. So I'm trying to kind of steer away from that. Even though I'm a veteran, I love being a veteran. You know, I'll never deny being a veteran. But what I want is for veterans to start looking past our old status and start showing and highlighting what you are doing now. You know what I mean? You know, what my cooking thing has nothing to do with me being a veteran. It was something I've known how to do for years, you know, so I'm trying to highlight that. Though I am a veteran who can cook, there are lots of veterans out there that can cook, hundreds, you know, but.
Yeah, there's tons of professional chefs that used to be in the military, man.
Yeah, so with this whole General Mattis debacle, I feel that veterans are reacting, you know, in a way
I think they're reacting poorly.
Yeah, we're reacting poorly. I get it, but me personally, I'm not going to put Mattis on a fucking pedestal. I'm not. I got it.
To each their own. You can do that. You can say, I don't like this guy's a hero in his own right, but he's not perfect like everybody else. Trump's not perfect,
I'm not gonna,
right?
I posted his ass, you know?
I posted something about this earlier on my personal public profile page. Was the fact that people like Trump's not perfect, but everything that's happening right now is not Trump's fault. It's just not. It's never has been his fault. He's been in office for 3 fucking years. 3 years. All these other people like fucking Pelosi, McConnell, and fucking Biden have been in office for 20 plus years. And you want to blame them for all the race shit happening? Dude, the guy that you're wanting me to vote for in November was the one responsible for locking up and making felons of tons of hundreds of thousands of black men in America. Exactly. And you want me to vote for him because he's going to fix the fucking race problems? Fuck you.
And you're right. You're 100% correct. Like you got a guy like Biden who was talking about corn pop. Remember that
corn pop
about corn pop, and he goes, the little kids were at the pool and he said, rub my hair and watch it stand back up under the pool. And he goes, these roaches were on my lap. You know, the American people don't even know what he meant by calling them roaches. You know what he meant by calling them roaches? Dude, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just like, and you guys this guy is publicly saying I'm a fucking racist. He called brown kids and black kids fucking roaches.
No. What was it? I'm trying to remember the quote exactly because poor kids are just as smart as white kids. That was an actual quote from Joe Biden. How is that not racist?
But you have a guy like Mitch McConnell. Was it not Mitch McConnell? It was Joe Biden said, or who said that Barack Obama was a well-spoken, light-skinned
That was Biden. Biden said that.
You guys are pushing for this guy to be president. He is a fucking known fucking racist. He says shit because his dementia. So his dementia kicks in, and his natural instinct is to be exactly who the fuck he is. He called brown kids roaches. He called Barack Obama. He said or what did Bill Clinton say? He said he would have been serving me tea or some shit. I'm just like, and you guys,
I know. I mean, it's funny. Like people pretend that these older Democrats didn't grow up in the civil rights era, right? The only person that you can say that actually was on the other side of these things was fucking Bernie because he got arrested for that shit, right? Yeah. But everybody else, these families that have been in the Democratic Party for fucking ever were the same ones that were still in the party when they said the switch happened.
They were the same ones voting against the Civil Rights Act. You know what I mean? But civil rights happened in what? 1964, I think.
During the 1960s, we'll just leave it at that. It's generalizing here.
So it's around that time frame. So think about people like Joe Biden, who's been in politics for 40 years. Go back 40 years.
Yeah.
He voted against that shit. And you guys want this dumb bastard.
Dude, this guy. For me, like, white liberals are some of the most racist people you ever meet in your life. And I next week when we have our guest on, who's a buddy of mine, is going to be fun because he's a black liberal too, and so it's going to be like we got Michael we got him, man. They're two opposites of the spectrum, and it's going to be interesting. But the point I want to say is that white liberals are some of the most racist people you'll ever meet in your life, because they view themselves as superior. So therefore, they have to help the minorities. They have to help all these poor black and brown kids from their failing lives. And I've said before, is like, Oprah does not need your fucking help.
What is that?
Serena Williams does not need your fucking help.
What was that meme from freaking what was that movie, that TV series with the dragon lady? She was in control of the dragons. I didn't really watch it, but she was the blonde. She got fucked by Jason Momoa.
Yeah, fucking Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. Yeah,
Game of Thrones. So remember that meme is like, here's how
white girls feel when they're helping the minorities.
Yeah, like you're not helping us, dude. We don't need your fucking help.
No, you're fucking
like
not.
Seriously, you're not helping. And that has
been some of the fucking dumbest shit here. Like a great example, I wanted to bring this up since we're talking about white liberals. And the best example of how I know that they're fucking racist is stupid shit like this, right? This is a black cop being accosted by white liberals at a Black Lives Matter protest in Texas. in Texas.
So
right, this dude is getting. I don't know. It's just somebody that posted the video, but like this is what's happening. Is this dude's getting harassed by white liberals?
Yeah, that's here in Austin.
Yeah,
that's the capital.
So,
but
like,
it's all white liberals. Did you remember the BLM?
It's all white liberals, man.
So remember the Antifa protest I went to last year or the year before?
Yeah, it was last year, I think.
Yeah, remember the white liberals? And I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, you're trying to tell me as a black man? And they walked away. When you call them out for their shit, they're like, you're trying to tell me as a black man how I should think. That's typical Democratic white liberal bullshit. You want to control black people, and all you white kids are out here, rioting.
Bored middle class white kids in the fucking suburbs, man.
Burning down black neighborhoods and breaking in shit. And
not only that, but LARPing. I got a video for that I wanted to show. That's hilarious too. Is the LARPing with the medic thing. So they're trying to like the flesh wound dude,
and it's not even like, dude, he's not even bleeding,
wound, dude.
You saw that was a flesh wound. I know
it was from a rubber bullet. It wasn't from a real bullet. It was a rubber bullet.
I could see if blood was gushing out of his fucking leg, but there's no blood gushing out. Dude, I mean, these fucking idiots right here. These, and here's what I'm glad. I'm glad Antifa or BLM, Black Lives Matter, is calling out Antifa. Yeah. I'm glad.
I mean, 100%. even Malcolm X has said in the past that white liberals are not your friends. They have never been your friends.
Nope.
And it's true. Like you look at the actions of what they do on a daily basis. Is like, especially like voter ID is the biggest example I have for that, where they go. They're not smart enough to have internet. They're just not smart enough to figure out where to go get IDs. They can't get IDs. They can't afford IDs. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Like all black people can't get fucking IDs. All Mexican people. I don't know anybody in the United States that has a job or has ever had a job has not had a fucking ID. Like ever. Like I don't know how you wouldn't have an ID in the United States or anywhere for that matter. Like, dude, like. How? How?
Like, the problem is, white liberals literally think black people are stupid, dude. Yeah. Like, I literally think that. Like, they think we need them to help us in any way, shape, or form. So I just don't get these new millennials and their way of thinking, because I think in their college, their fucking hippie fucking professors are telling them that I grew up during the 60s and all this
identity
stuff,
politics, man.
It's all identity politics. But the most successful black people that have something, that are successful, that can think for themselves, are like, I don't need you speaking for me, and I don't need these black radicals speaking for me. I'm pretty.
And that's what I feel
myself.
I feel the same way. Is like, here's the thing, white liberals, leave it the fuck alone. Just stop. Just let. They are not dumb. They can handle. They can take care of their own communities and their own things. Let them fucking be. That's it.
And,
that's all.
And white liberals, why are you going into black neighborhoods and destroying shit?
Yeah.
I like
Tons of those happening.
When you have black people telling you to stop, you're destroying, their businesses, or you're destroying businesses or whatever. You're taking jobs away from minorities that work at that place.
Or that one video, that one lady that was she was yelling at them and is like, "You don't even live here. Why the fuck are you here burning things down?" I know homeless people that need these charging stations, that need these bus routes, and they're just destroying them.
Exactly. So my place of employment, there were people in this establishment that weren't from Austin that got arrested.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish here? Black Lives Matter canceled a rally in Austin because they knew that Antifa was going to hijack it. Guess who showed up though? It wasn't Black Lives. Guess who showed up?
It was Antifa.
Antifa showed up.
And Antifa is not your friend. They aren't. And people know this. And they infiltrate Antifa, other groups in order to cause harm.
I will say this. Antifa are nothing more than bootlickers. They are brown shirts that the Nazis use. Same thing, same tactic. Nazis use brown shirts like Antifa to push an agenda. They're brown shirts, man. And people that push Antifa's movement. Antifa doesn't care about Black Lives Matter. Antifa doesn't care about any movement. All they care about is their agenda, and that's the communist fucking revolution.
Right.
That's
I was gonna say that. And the funniest thing is like, also, here's to you, rich liberals. Stop condoning Antifa. You want to know why? Because God forbid they ever get power under their communist manifesto. You're the first ones on the fucking wall because the bourgeoisie do not get protection under a communist regime.
They will come after your ass. You motherfucking rich ass fucking liberals living in Hollywood. You don't think Antifa is coming after your ass?
Yeah, right?
They're coming after you, dude. I promise you that. They will come after you.
They only need you right now.
They need your money right now. George Soros, guess what? You're going to be buried in a fucking grave when they come after you. They're coming for you too. They don't care about you. All they want, their mission, their goal is a communist revolution.
And that's why I say it's like they don't give a shit about Black lives. They only give a shit about their revolution and their radical reformation. They are no different in my mind than neo-Nazis and fucking Al-Qaeda.
Exactly.
They are the exact same thing. They just have a different ideology.
Do you notice that Antifa and neo-Nazis dress just alike?
Yeah, they dress similar. They like
they dress
over their faces.
Just alike. Black boots, black pants, all this other shit, tattoos all over their body.
Oh yeah,
they're the same, dude. So neo-Nazis have infiltrated freaking Antifa, pushing the fucking movement, and they want exactly what they're going to get. And
that's what I said. It's like these people are not your friends.
Populace, as true Americans, as Black Lives Matter, I'm glad you're starting to walk away from them. Even though I don't really agree with a lot of your tactics initially, I agree with your message, walk away from them fools.
Yeah.
Walk
absolutely.
away. Kick them out to your neighborhoods. Kick them out of everything. And if you see these little mass vigilantes walking up in your shit, breaking your shit,
if you see the
stores, you need to beat.
Beat them senseless. Yeah. Like
no, do what you have to do. I'm not going to say beat them senseless.
Okay, I do not condone violence of any type against Antifa because I don't want to be construed with them. It's like I'm sick of it, man. Like I've seen enough dumb shit in my lifetime that I don't want to keep seeing more, and it hurts my heart to see America in such a state where I feel like I'm afraid to let my kids grow up in this place. That's where I'm at as a parent right now. Is I'm afraid to let my kids grow up in this climate because identitarians on the left, under their policies, my son being a white male, unless he's gay, then he gets a pass on some things. Or he's transgender or whatever, like then he'll be fine. But if he stays a white male and straight, then his life is gonna be terrible under those rules. But we need to get away from those identity authoritarian politics, and we need to go back to what MLK wanted, which was everybody not being judged by the color of the skin, but the content or the character. That's what we should be advocating for, and that's something that I've always agreed with. In all these movements, there's always two types of individuals that exist, and that's MLK and Malcolm X. There are accelerationists, and there are people that are asking for time. Frederick Douglass and MLK are good examples of people that wanted to take time to assimilate. And that's the thing, is like, you have, in order to fix the problems we have to address these on commonalities, which is class and majority privilege. If we're going to talk about anything, it's not race. We need to eliminate the idea of race and talk about them as majority and class. That's what we should be talking about. So those are my thoughts anyway. So we'll definitely get on that. But there's one other thing that there we go. One other thing I wanted to bring up, because we still are technically under the Rona that everybody keeps forgetting about, and there is a protest that is coming where they're in DC, where they're trying to organize 1 million people to go to that. I don't get it. I mean, are we still under quarantine? Are we still like afeared of the Rona? Like, is there any reason why we need to have things closed down anymore?
So here's the problem I have with that march that you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
Notice it had 1 million people.
Yeah.
What does that remind you of in DC?
Million Man March, really. I mean, that's what popped in my head.
So again, this is white liberals trying to hijack. Movements. Yeah, I want people to know. People know me, man. I'm not one of those racial people. I read between the lines in a lot of shit, and white liberals are the worst people on the fucking planet to me. But don't you see that these white liberals out here trying to push this coronavirus million man movement, or whatever they want to call it, is hijacking the 1 million man march? If you just think about what you're being shown and think about what they're trying to do, these fucking white racist liberals are trying to
they're the worst because they don't know they're racist.
They're just trying to hijack the anything black. They're jumping on it. Do you notice that they always jump on it? Because
they want to feel good about themselves. They're chasing that endorphin high, man.
It's virtue signaling times 10, you know. And
it's their crack, honestly. Like it reminds me of that upper scale white woman that adopts like charity cases for
like, what's her name?
The one that has like the poodle in the purse.
No, what's the actress name? Angelina Jolie. Or no, not
she does have multiple kids from various places.
What's that other white one? She's hot as fuck though. Blonde.
I'm sorry, that describes half of Hollywood. So,
damn, I can't remember her name. If anyone can remember her name, she's blonde. She's been around in movies for a little bit, but she's fucking hot as fuck. But she has black kids too, and she tries to highlight her black kids. Like, look at me, I'm so virtuous.
Look at all my black kids I have. I'm such a good person.
Look, bitch, why didn't you adopt a black kid from America if you're that virtuous and if you think America's
that's another system that needs to be reformed too, because it's hard to adopt.
If you're that virtuous and you love your country and you think America's such a racist country, why did you adopt black
Why
kids?
did you bring them here?
No, it's not even like bringing them here. I get it, you know, I got it, you know, they need a better life. But my thing is, if you felt that virtuous about your movement, why didn't you adopt a young black kid from Chicago? You know what I mean?
But I mean, I understand why most people wouldn't, just because of how difficult it is. Like, I'll give that to them. It can be difficult to adopt here, but I get what you're saying. You're right. I mean, if they really want to help that much, then they should adopt from the U.S. But people don't do that. They don't. It's all a game.
It's all virtue signaling, man. And we haven't figured out. That's the worst thing that happens to them, is once you figure them out, they hate that shit because you got them figured out. Just like, what's her name? What's that chick, that activist, the hot freaking actress?
You keep saying this as like it's gonna.
I mean, they're all
or
hot,
something like
but,
that.
Yeah, whatever. So all these fucking actors and actresses and their virtue signaling and living in their $1 million home, they want to sit up here and tell us how bad we are as American citizens, as the lower class, because that's how they look at us at the end of the day.
Yeah, like rich people do not view you the same as a poor white dude.
I know rich people, and though they view me as an equal, because I know them.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, man. When I was in Michigan, you kind of see it a little bit. Like, they're rich as fuck. Like, you know, like, yeah, you're not even on their fucking level of shit. But because I was with a buddy of mine, I was kind of brought into the fold. But
You were brought into it.
yeah, I was brought in. You know, I got a couple of patients right now, but these fucking rich ass fucking celebrities don't give two shits about you, America. No matter how much they try to tell you they do, they don't care about you. Remember that. If they care, just knock on their fucking door. Go to their fucking doorstep. You know where they live in Hollywood. Ring their doorbell and be like, hey, I need something to eat. And see what they say. See what the fuck they say. Because if they care, they would like, come in and eat. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I guarantee. Alyssa Milano, you're full of shit. That's who I was talking about.
Alyssa Milano, that's what you were trying to think of?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alyssa
so...
Milano, you're full of shit. So here's what I challenge anyone, all my friends in California. Go to Alyssa Milano's house, ring her doorbell, and be like, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. I have my poor black family out here, and can you feed us? I can guarantee she won't open her fucking door.
Not happening. So sorry about the background noise. I guess my kid may have fallen or done something like that. I don't know what that was. He's fine. It happens all the time. But I agree with you, man. Like you go to a rich house, they're not going to let you in any more than they would let me in. Like it doesn't matter. Like our skin color has nothing to do with that. They just don't want any plebeian coming in and ruin their show. And is this a poor person joke that I'm too rich to understand? That whole mentality.
Who is that nigga outside?
Right? I mean, it's silly. It's really fucking silly.
So here's the thing with me and veterans like Coy and I. If any of my friends was really down and out like that and knocked on my fucking doors like, hey dude, I need something fucking to eat. I'm only a thousandaire, dude. I'm not a millionaire. You know, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty comfortable when it comes to finances. I'm pretty comfortable, but I'm not even close to being on any level of fucking rich, but I'm comfortable.
Yeah, neither am I.
You know,
I'm comfortable. Comfortable.
You know, so me being comfortable, if one of my friends came over and was like, hey dude, I need a place to stay for a couple of days, I would fucking 100% do it. Yeah. Like 100%, I would do it. But
everybody's got a couch, man.
Yeah, I have a couch and I have a spare bedroom, so I would do it. But these rich motherfuckers that want to virtue signal on Twitter,
they've got like 12 rooms they never use.
Yeah. Go to Alyssa Milano's freaking Twitter account and watch her virtue signaling. So she would never in her life invite you to her fucking table.
Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance.
Guarantee. I can bet. Okay, here it is. If one of you motherfuckers on my page knocked on Alyssa Milano's door, I will give you $500 if she lets you in her house. $500.
They're more likely to get a trespassing charge than the $500. That's what it's going to pay.
You're sitting at her table and you're eating dinner with her.
Right.
It's never going to fucking happen.
Not a chance.
I'm saying.
Not a chance. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close it out for this time. Michael, why don't you go ahead and do your thing?
All right. So make sure you guys are checking out Grill Your Ass Off. I sent a package to my friend in Reno, Nevada. Follow her on TikTok, the Brown Eyed Gal. Get some clout. Desiree. Got you, girl. And if you want a package, any type of package, if you want something from Grill Your Ass Off, hit me up.
Meat package.
Make sure I got you. And make sure you go to American Trigger Pullers. That's where all my gear is from, all my shirts and everything. So use promo code Grizzle Grunt, get 10% off. And also follow the Hooch, of course. I see a lot of you guys out there wearing our T-shirts and stuff. So
yeah, there was one of our fans that wore it. I got mine in the other day. I took a picture. I have a hoodie I haven't worn yet. I was going to wear it on the show today, but I'll do it next time. But we'll definitely do that. Anyway, guys, be sure to follow the page at the Hooch Podcast, as well as anchor.fm, the Hooch. That's where you can find all the links to the shows, like on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all basically everywhere you can. iHeartRadio's even got us on there. So there's no shortage of places that you can listen to us. And if you want the videos, the video sections of the shows, which are, if you're watching right now, you already know. But if you're on the podcast, we do have the video section, which is at the Hooch Podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. And the Bro Kitchen. And the Bro Kitchen. Check out some of this.
Hey, don't forget to follow the Bro Kitchen, too. I cook some dope shit. So I put out a PSA of what you guys want me to cook next week. Coy said something about lamb.
I think you should make lamb. That's me. Lamb's good.
I'll try that. I got wagyu beef, and some other things. So might do lamb though, because Coy asked me. So I'll look for
definitely
lamb.
do lamb. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I might make a gyro. How do you say it? Gyro.
So, it's gyro. It's pronounced gyro.
But hey, make sure you guys check out this video.
Should definitely do that. Anyway, guys, that's it for us this time in America. We love you. And
we're out.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.